Welcome everybody to the NFTs AMA on Spintop YouTube channel. Today we have Max and Jorge from Bitverse. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I hope you answer all of our questions at the community questions. And before we start with them, would you like to introduce yourself? What is your position at Bitverse? And feel free to tell everyone who you are.
Yeah, sure. Hey, everyone, I'm Max Murphy. I'm the CTO of Kongregate. Kongregate is a parent company that builds games, and Bitverse is a huge endeavor we're undertaking. And, moving into Web3 gaming is pretty exciting for us as an organization.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm Jorge. I'm the Senior Director of Product here at our blockchain vertical in Kongregate. And I'm leading particularly the Bitverse. I've been involved with this IP for 4 years now, so it's been quite a while, and yeah, super excited to bring it to the world of Web3.
Okay, thank you for introducing yourself. So the first one is always the easiest one. If you had 2 minutes to tell the whole world what Bitverse is about and why people should know about it, what would you say? Or you want to you can tell everyone what is Kongregate too, if you want.
Sure, sounds good. Let's go directly to Bitverse. I think. Yeah. So basically, the Bitverse is, in a way, it's a combination of all the buzzwords of 2021, right? That somehow we managed to fit into this concept. So it's a metaverse of games, right, of different genres that are united by the blockchain around the Bit Heroes IP. As I was saying, Bit Heroes has been with Kongregate since 2016. When we published it, we acquired the title in 2019, and we've been operating it for the last 3 years, right? So,
correct.
Like somehow we managed to fit all of those pieces, and on top of that, we added traditional Kongregate values like being very, very player and community driven, right?
Innovation.
Innovation.
Okay.
And
fun.
Basically, we applied also hybrid models to what we're building. Hybrid models meaning we're gonna apply both free to play and play and earn to our games, right? And this is a very important distinction for us. Also, by the way, we're not play to earn; we're play and earn.
Okay.
Like the biggest reason why you're gonna come here is to play our games. Earn will come with that, but it's not the main and primary reason why you should be engaging with the Bitverse.
Okay, thank you. So now I'm gonna ask this one. What is Bitverse mission and what problems are you trying to solve, since you may know that the market and blockchain gaming is in a kind of bad state right now?
That's also a pretty good question. So in terms of our mission, what we're trying to do, as I mentioned, is create this ecosystem, right, of games with both first and third party developers. First party developers, just for those of you who don't know, it's basically games that are done and created by studios in-house of Kongregate, right? Studios that Kongregate owns. Third party developers are, hey, a small studio somewhere in the world that wants to be part of our endeavor, right? It's not Kongregate owned, and somehow we reach an agreement to create a game together. So we're envisioning this ecosystem where we can coexist and provide amazing experiences with the community, the developers, the player-owned economies, but most importantly, fun as guiding pillars, right?
Exactly. And as you say, like how we're in a little bit of a crypto winter where, the dip, et cetera. I think that's the perfect time for us to be launching this. It's the point where anyone can join, anyone can invest and jump into this world. The barrier of entry, if you look at 2021 for things like Axie, were just out of this world, right? Like a $10,000 investment just to get started. Being in a dip and a winter is going to be great because I 100% believe everything's going to come back up within the next year, right? But right now is the time to convert users. Right now is the time to show people that crypto is not a scary concept for gaming. And that is, that's one of the tenets is like, we want people to not feel scared by crypto gaming. And that's why we're going game first and do the hybrid free to play and play and earn models.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And so, sorry, to add just a little bit to
sure,
that.
sure.
I think, again, I was talking about how this is going to be, fun and play centric, right? And if you draw a couple of Venn diagrams, right, and the first circle was like all the Web3 crypto investors, and the second diagram was like traditional players, like what we're looking is at the intersection of those two, right? Like that's the people we're going towards. People who want to stay with us for the long run, and that believe the same way that we do that. Asset ownership, digital asset ownership is going to be the next thing, the next big thing, right? And yeah, we're very open to try to implement all of these technologies into our games.
Now, for the next question, sorry if it's out of context, but I just saw that you have the Brandon Sanderson, the Stormlight Archive on the back, and you have Pokemon. Both of them, they have like a lot of it's like of different realms where you can play or you can go in the Cosmere, for example. In Bitverse, you want to do something like that. There are 7 games, or up to 7 games. How I'll be able to go from one game to another? How can I play each game? Is it necessary to own an NFT? It sounds similar to both Pokemon and the Cosmere, so I just wanted to say it because I love Brandon Sanderson. I never had the opportunity to say it.
I love how you got that, man. That was amazing. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Sanderson as well. Fun fact, I picked it up very recently, like a couple of years ago. I used to read like Robert Jordan for The Wheel of Time.
I have the whole too. So
oh, that's that. Yeah. And I'm a huge Pokemon card collector. So they're leaving there. That collection is worth a lot of money, regardless. And coming back to your question, how are you going to move between games? Yeah, you're going to need an NFT, right? Like you can enjoy, first of all, you can enjoy the games individually as standalone titles, right? That's where the free-to-play model comes in. You can pick any of those, play the game, have fun, engage with it like any other game. But if you want to kind of use your same character, right, across all those games, across all those universes, if you want to take it from the Cosmere perspective, then you need to own an NFT avatar, right? That's how we're calling our characters. Those are going to be, ERC 721s. They're going to be limited in quantity. They're going to come with a lot of perks, and they're going to be visually unique, right? Like there's no going to be a free-to-play hero that looks like them in any way or form.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a combination of an avatar and a PFP all in one that you can take across every game in the universe.
Mm-hmm. So now you just mentioned the avatars, that they are the basic NFTs of the game and the Bitverse. What are they exactly? How do I know if my avatar is better than yours, or is it just cosmetic?
That's a good question as well. So first of all, obviously cosmetic is where the whole thing starts. Like the rarer your avatar is, the more visually different it's going to be, right, from the rest. So that's to start with. Then there's obviously going to be a set of perks that you're going to unlock just by owning an avatar. And the rarer your avatar is, the more powerful those perks will be, right? So for example, let's compare a common avatar against a mythic avatar, right? The common avatar is going to have maybe like 4 or 5 different visual changes to it, right? The mythic is going to have maybe 10. The common is going to give you access to the play and earn features, but the mythic is going to give you access to that. Plus, it's going to give you some bonuses when you buy anything. It's going to give you bonuses and bonus for stacking. Lots of things are coming up to mind that we can do there.
Okay.
But in terms of power, they're going to be balanced equally. Like just because we are not looking to be.
Okay, that's what
what we learned from free to play is pay to win is not a good look for anyone.
No, I completely agree. So I also know that there are a lot of things apart from the avatar, like the gears, the mounts, the pets. What are they? Are they also cosmetic? How do I buy them, or where can I trade them? Is it going to be easier if I have them, or it's not mandatory to have them?
Great questions again. So this is a key component of what we've been talking about, right? Like we want you to play the games. So basically, in order to mint any of those things, which are items that already exist in Bit Heroes Quest, which is our original game, right? That's a game where we're retrofitting into Web3. But basically, these things already exist there. So in order to mint them and have them become an NFT, you're going to have to collect them first in their non-NFT version, right? Then on top of that, you will apply some bit pixels, and that's how you will craft the NFT version of that item. What that means is that these items have utility in the game. They're not overpowered compared to the non-NFT version of the item, and they are transactable. That's when the value comes in for them, right? Like when you can transact them with other players, and hey, maybe we restrict access to like the amount of mythic items to 500 or 10, right? And whoever gets to collect that item first and mint it has that kind of asset ownership and trading perks that nobody else has.
Okay, thank you. Now talking about the game modes, I know that there's going to be, game modes or games, whatever you call it, or realms. Right now there are 3 available, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Right now, we have Bit Heroes Quest, which is the original game. It's an MMORPG type of game. Within that game, there's plenty of game modes. But then we have Bit Heroes Arena, which is a battle royale type of game. It's a game. They're basically matches of up to 40 people, depending on how loaded the servers are. We sometimes take it down to 30. And, it's just like any other battle royale. Like think Fortnite, but like the 2D version with traditional, NES 8-bit art.
Okay. Do you want to give us a sneak peek of the future games, or that's just confidential and we get to know in the future?
So besides Arena, we are working on Runner, which is coming by the end of the year. That's an endless runner type of game. So think of, if you haven't played any of those in free to play, think of Super Mario endless running, right? And having to dodge obstacles, defeat enemies, etc. Like a typical platformer. Okay. Then we're starting to think about a CCG, so a card collectible game. This is where maybe the familiars will come in, right? Which are kind of the companions that are by your side in Bit Heroes Quest. And for Game 5, things are a little bit more open right now. We're listening to proposals. Okay. I can tell you, some people have approached us with tabletop options, like type of game options. Some people are approaching us with kind of real-time strategy games. We ran a poll the other day in our Discord asking the community about what their preference is, and they said tower defense. And I'm a huge fan of tower defense, so maybe that, I don't know, we'll see. Okay. Thank you.
Let's see what the future is awaiting for us. So now
the second winner from the poll was like a farming type of game. Think of Stardew Valley, right?
Resource management, kind of, yeah.
It's getting crazy, and we love it.
I'm a fan on tower defense as well. By the way, we warned you on sneak peeks, but we still got them. So
tower defense was voted very highly also.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, next on this, we will be continuing with some tokenomics and stuff. So could you elaborate on the gameplay first, like the PvP and PvE, and how people can monetize on this?
Those are good questions. Again, we are not play to earn, we're play and earn, right? I want to make sure that message gets across. And, we're trying to find ways to give players the way to earn without compromising the sustainability of our economies, right? Something we've seen with other titles in the space is like, they have this huge player earn pool. They have no way to replenish the pool. The pool dries out. What do you do then? Right? That makes it challenging. So rather than, doing things like Theater and Arena where they give you a fixed amount of currency per game, we're thinking more in terms of like having specific pools assigned per game mode that players can opt to win, right? Other ways to earn, we're thinking about some sort of season pass across all the games in the Bitverse, daily missions, 1v1 bets, maybe even Obviously, fusing is one of those things that we can employ here. In the runner, it's not difficult to think about, from time to time, maybe a coin will pop up here or there that you can collect, and that's the token, right? And maybe there's a limit to that. And then obviously the sustainability component comes in when you bring fusing to the table. As I was saying, like when you're minting an NFT, you need the non-NFT version of the item plus the token. So taking a percentage of that and kind of assigning it to replenish the pool is how we're going to make it sustainable over time, as well as maybe even from traditional sales and other sources.
Yep, thank you. What about renting? Will there be renting of NFTs?
Not at the moment. We're not targeting the renting of heroes because we feel like that might lead to speculation around the heroes, and we want people to be playing with them, right?
Yeah.
We don't want people to
Equity
be
in this game world is a very big part for us, right? And seeing the inequities around games with rental systems and NFT systems like that really shows the inequity in the space, and we're really trying to the Bitverse is for everyone is our goal.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And about your token, BPXL, if I'm wrong or correct, what will be the utilities on the token?
Bitpixels. So think of Bitpixels as the essence of the Bitverse, right? Like they are the thing that connects all living things in it. They are the atoms of the universe to a degree, right? And some of the utilities are some of the play and earn components that we just talked about. Obviously, we're gonna get stacking at some point, or staking. I always mispronunciate the word in English, sorry. So we will have a pool with different APYs based on the log periods and avatar bonuses, as I was explaining before. Like depending on the avatar that you hold, you will get an extra bonus on top of that. Stacking will be also used for governance purposes. If you are interested, we have a lot more info in our white paper, and we're going to keep developing that. We have a developer fund to basically attract and retain our own talent, but also to bring some of those third-party developers that we were talking about before, right? Like this is a way to make them part of the universe and have them invested for the long run, right? Again, we don't want short-term games. We want this to be sustainable over time, and a game that we're all playing in 5 years' time.
I mean, we have that with Bit Heroes as is. It's what, six-year game now, 6 year on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, like, it's very interesting when you look at the data. We have like this huge amount of players at the bottom, like in the sense of like they're just at the latest expansion zone. They've always been there. They just keep going, and then everybody else is like in the middle, but more evenly spread. So it's really fun to see.
One quick question. If you just mentioned, I don't know if it's going to be asked later on the community question. I just forgot. Is the game going to be on PC, on mobile, or where?
Everywhere we can.
Okay.
So right now,
everywhere we can. Yeah, web first is the Web3 model is right now, and we expand into others. Our free-to-play model, the free-to-play component of each one of these games, of course, will have standard publishing and distribution.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the interruption. It came to my mind, and I didn't want to forget. People want to know. So please, Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. I played a couple of Congregate games to addiction, by the way. And I just I was like, okay, I have no life anymore. So it was fun, of course. I'm sure this will be a hit as well. So the next question will be about the NFTs. You have countless of NFTs, too many of them. And we're wondering if they will have another utility apart from being in the game as items or characters. And also who will be performing the security audits, and how will you prevent the fraudulent use of NFTs?
That is a good question. That's a big question with a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
Jorge, do you want to take a stab at the NFT?
I can
portion,
take the first part,
and then I can jump on to security. Okay, cool.
Sounds good. So I think, in terms of again, going back to play and earn, right? We want people to play the game. That's the main utility of the NFTs that we're creating. It's our primary focus. Now, that being said, yes, there's going to be other sorts of benefits, right? We talked about, for example, how avatars, depending on their rarity, are going to provide you a boost to stacking APIs, right? So that's an example there. And obviously, governance will come into play as well later on, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to expect to see some of the typical use cases there. But again, primary focus, player games, be part of the Bitverse for many years.
As far as security on that front, we are partnered with Mutable X on this journey. If you look at their L2 offering, they follow the Ethereum security model and only append it. If you want to, if the audience wanted to go and watch the recent IMX announcements, it dives so deep into their security model and it's beautiful. As far as our contracts, we have a full team of Solidity developers. And in this world, we're actually doing test-driven development, which is something that I brought along from my past history and other applications, so that we're auditing, testing, ensuring, and asserting that each and every one of our contracts behaves exactly as we expect and does not allow for crazy things like, I'm going to take your ape, go pull a loan on it, and then come back and all of a sudden I'm 50 million richer and you're missing an NFT in your collection. So that's a very, in the front of my mind as our CTO to really keep everything as secure as we have over the years with Congregate.com, with our mobile titles on 75 million devices, et cetera. It's security first, and everything gets audited before it gets deployed.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I won't have too many doubts about security, having Congregate behind all of it. So for everyone watching, I hope everything goes well. I don't have doubts, but it's just my opinion. Don't take it personal or anything.
Of course, it's definitely a concern in this day and age after seeing everything that's happened in the past month, everything that's happened in the past quarter. Honestly, there's a lot of security holes that could easily be averted by reviewing your code, reviewing your contracts, having other eyes on them, and writing tests for them to ensure unit tests and making sure that the functions in the contract behave exactly as you want to. Okay. And so it's kind of cool. It's a lot of fun. Love to share more, maybe another call sometime.
yeah, sure. So now I think it's going to be my last question of the day from my part. About the NFTs, will I be able to use on other metaverses or games? Like, I don't know, I have my avatar joining the sandbox, for example, or I don't know, any other metaverse or game in the blockchain?
Yeah. So it's difficult to answer with a yes or no. Like, first of all, we're focusing on interoperability between our games, right? So you can use every single item from every single of one of our games. It's at least visually displayable in the other games, right? Now, that being said, it's going to come down to individual partnerships at the end of the day. We've been approached. We've had some conversations already with other metaverses, in terms of like, okay, how can we find a use for our, NFTs in your universe, and how can we find a use for your NFTs in our universe? Like, it's a bi-directional conversation. I think it's definitely something very fun to play with, and that people will be very excited about. And it's a great way to kind of cross audiences, right? Like, hey, maybe you never think about this type of game, but there's like, now you can use your NFT over there, right? So sweet, I'll go check it out.
I mean, on the technical front, there's a lot there too. I'm very interested, and I'm looking towards building or working with a group to build standard metadata schema for NFTs to be cross-game, right? Every game has their own metadata schema, and that's what's applied to their NFTs. We need an industry standard, and that's something that I'm chasing down personally, because I feel like that's what will really open the door to the true metaverse that we're all looking for, where our digital assets go with us everywhere and are usable everywhere that we go.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for answering all of my questions. For the community ones, we got tons of questions. We cannot answer all of it. So for if you have a question that hasn't been answered or isn't going to be answered in the next minutes, please just go to the Discord or the Telegram channel. Everyone there is very nice. They will answer everything without any problems. So hope you are enjoying it. So now we took 5 questions for all the community. The first one, it's about the mobile and PC I talked before. Is there any requirements in order to play those games? Like, do I need an NVIDIA 3070 or something like that? Or is it going to be the lowest so everyone can play?
Well, our games.
Requirement. Yeah, go ahead, Max.
Yeah. No, I mean, any modern computer should be able to play our games, even a modern Chromebook. We're building our clients in Unity for these games. So any target that Unity supports, it does. We're not going the AAA route with like super deep 3D modeling. Everything is true to the Bitverse. It's 8-bit. I feel 16-bit with the color palette. We have a lot of colors available. So it stays with that. I mean, the assets and sprites are anything can render them.
Okay, thank you. So now, Justin, please go ahead.
Yep. It's the second question. Most NFT games currently suffer low player base due to expensive initial cost for a new player to take part in the game. How does Bitverse attract large groups of players, and can you talk some of which stuff that you make different from others?
It's a really strange question to ask it, but I think you understand the whole point of it.
Yeah, I think I know where it's going. So I think I understand, like, at the end of the day, when you are a lot of these crypto games that are coming out in projects, like they are in some way or form kind of limiting their audiences, right? Because there's only this amount of characters that you can play with, or it's kind of shrinking the audience a lot, and then there's a huge entry cost, right? I think that's where our hybrid model comes in a little bit, right? Like, you want to enjoy the Bitverse, you can enjoy it as a free-to-play user, right? Like, you can come play the game, any of the games on web, or download them and play them like as a free-to-play experience. Now, do you want to engage with the blockchain layer that kind of sits on top of the games? Do you want your character to be the same across every single game? Do you want to be able to display your cool armor, across all the games and those sort of things? Do you want to be able to sell that armor later on to somebody else when you decide that you don't want to keep playing the game, or when you get a better one? Like, that's what the blockchain layer is going to enable, right? And that is optional to a degree. Like, you don't need to engage with that. You can enjoy the Bitverse without it. And I think, and this is one of the reasons why I think that blockchain, by the way, that player learning is so interesting, is that, I don't know you guys, but a problem that I've had in the past is how difficult it has been, when I was playing a game that I was already 6 months in, right? Like, think of World of Warcraft, or I don't know, any sort of game that requires a lot of time, and I was trying to bring a friend into it. My friend had to kind of download the game, play the game for 6 months to catch up with me, even if I was helping him. That kind of sucked, right? I think one of the great things about asset ownership is that, hey, I can I can transact some of those things to my friend, right? And immediately he's able to play with me. And I think that's one of the beauty sides of crypto game.
Okay, thank you. So right now, the next one is about the marketing on local communities. Do you plan to implement translation in the games for everyone, for the non-English speakers? Or do you have any marketing plans to go abroad?
Yeah, Max, do you want to take this one, or do you want me to take it?
Why don't you take this one? Internationalization is something production usually handles.
So, definitely. So, Bitverse is definitely for everybody, and we want to be able to reach as many communities as possible. So we're going to localize the game to as many languages as we can, right? And we're also, we're in negotiation negotiation phase at this point, trying to find the right provider. But yeah, we will translate the game for everyone.
Okay, thank you. That's very nice to hear. So
we know particularly like Spanish and Portuguese communities are immense around blockchain gaming. So
I agree.
you can count with
Very
us.
exciting.
Mhm.
So
Okay, the next question goes like, did I interrupt someone?
no.
Apologies on that. I really want to hold a good amount of token, but I need to be sure of its profitability. What are the advantages of holding your token and also where to buy it? Where is the token use case and how does it capture the value of the ecosystem you're building? So 3 questions in one.
It's, sometimes when you get here, it's like, what? But we already talked about this, we already talked about that. It's interesting, right? I think what matters here is that the Bitverse is a long-term project, right? Again, it's made of several games. We're going to keep releasing games. At the very least, we have 3 scheduled for this year, another 2 for next year, and potentially another 2 for 2024, right? And basically what that means is that just by being part of this, like inherently the value of anything you own in this universe, whether that's the token itself or an avatar or an NFT item, like that's going to grow over time, right? Like you're going to be, imagine if you get an avatar, right? Like, and you play in Bit Heroes Quest until you reach like level 100, that's obviously, that's something, right? And that's worth a lot of money to someone. Like, reaching level 100 can take at the very least a month in Bit Heroes Quest, right? So how much would you pay for a month of your time?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we're trying to solve with blockchain here is, we've all seen the Facebook account attached to a mobile game that you can buy on eBay so that you get that progress, right? We've all seen World of Warcraft accounts go up on the gray market. We've seen gold go on the gray market. We want to legitimize that because that kind of agency is what users deserve, what players deserve, for putting all the time and effort into playing the game and pouring their soul into it. To be able to bring back something into their life, into the real world, is really our goal.
Okay, thank you. So now the last question is one that's going to be for the non-crypto guys or girls. How do you plan to make those people that doesn't know crypto play the game? If an NFT is required to play, how are you going to try to make them play?
Well, one of the answers earlier, like we do not require an NFT to play, right?
Sorry. Yeah, true.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we have the play and earn. We have the play and earn mechanic, yes, and we also have the free to play mechanic. So, as far as understanding gameplay, these are games for gamers. This is, if you've played a video game in the past 30 years, you will immediately be able to pick up and play any of the games in the Bitverse. We want to keep the bar of entry for gameplay very low because we want to keep it fun.
Okay.
It's less of a crypto enthusiast game and a game with crypto elements.
Yeah, okay. And what I would add to that is, we're partnering with IMX here, and I think they're one of the best partners that we could have picked, to be honest, because they've been doing a lot of work in terms of simplifying the process of onboarding, non-crypto audiences into the crypto world, right? So
easy, for example, fiat on ramps, etc.
Yeah, exactly. So we're testing our pre-sale funnel and page right now, and the solutions that they offer are as simple as just getting your credit card details here, make the purchase. You have
it's
the
like
currency
using PayPal.
Now. Yeah, it's so easy, right? Like, I don't think anyone who's this should be easy for everyone.
Okay. So thank you for answering all of the questions. I know we know that there are more questions, so please just go to the socials and follow them and ask them whatever you want. And if you don't have anything to add, we can just wrap it up here. So do you want to say something before we finish?
We hope to see you playing the Bitverse soon. No, just kidding.
The Bitverse is for everyone. Guys, thank you so much for the time and having us. This has been great.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. Thank you, guys.
It has been a pleasure to us to hear from you, so that everyone know what Bitverse is about. So thank you again. And for everyone watching, go follow Spintop and Bitverse. It really helps both a lot. Hit the like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And see you next time. Bye-bye, guys.
Jorge,
Bye,
send me your
everyone.
Discord tag when you have a moment to discuss Cosmere and stuff like that.
Sure. So bye-bye, guys.
Bye.